What is going on, guys? This is Shadow
Ghost
from Scully Gaming, bringing you playthrough number 3, I believe, of Resident Evil
3
Revelations.
No, it's motherfucking Revelations. Come on.
Revelations.
Alright. Well, anyway, so this is part 3. Same idea. You know, we're not going to talk through the cutscenes.
Yep.
And we're going to let you enjoy, the cutscene. But we're going to bullshit through the gameplay. Don't like it, then tough.
Yeah, you can see where we're going to find shit, so it's not like we need to tell you, oh, here's a gun. You'll see us pick up the fucking gun.
Yeah.
So if you didn't pay attention to that point, well, rewind the video or refresh it to give us an extra like. You know, we always like that stuff, too.
And, I would like to remind people this is actually a blind playthrough. So it's fun.
Yeah, it is. It's actually an enjoyable thing. So we'll let you get to the first cutscene, and here you go. Enjoy.
Previously on Resident Evil Revelations.
We lost contact with Chris and Jessica.
The signal was lost over the ocean.
Queen Zenobia.
Right here on this ship.
No signs of life. But I feel like something's here.
I think it's a gun. This is not good. Where are you, Chris? Chris! What is this?
Oh, great. Shit. It's a trap.
It's time you learned the truth. It's Valentine.
What? Where?
Alright, guys, we're back from that cutscene. I hope you enjoyed it. I didn't, as per usual.
Hey, I enjoyed it because, this is my playthrough.
Yeah, I've seen it like 8 times.
Oh,
so.
good for you. I mean, I'm glad you almost beat the game, but I didn't,
Yeah.
I mean, you're not even helping me through this shit,
I don't
It's
know.
crazy.
Why it's a blind playthrough.
Exactly. It's pretty funny. You guys don't get the chance to see this when,
Can you
because
reach HQ?
we don't have live feed, but Shadow's over here laughing his ass off on things where I freak out and, and shit. But anyway, so we talked a lot about Resident Evil, covered like every game, didn't we, Shadow?
Pretty much.
I mean, there's probably still things we can touch on, but you know what? I think we need to go back and tell these folks that why did we choose to play Resident Evil? What made Resident Evil so good to play for us?
I always loved zombies as a kid, so that right there was my appeal. I mean, zombies were always like a thing that you liked as a kid, but you were so fucking afraid of, especially when you went by like a cemetery and shit. You were always like, I don't want to stop there.
So when I was probably about a teenager at the time, I was living down in Tennessee for a while, and my neighbor had a game called Resident Evil. Now, I don't know what the heck it is. I thought it was like Residents and they're going to be evil. I mean, I was a kid back then, so I didn't know. I thought the title described the game. But I remember the original copy of it. It had a picture like a live-action Chris on the front of it with a shotgun. And it behind him is like a staircase, and then in the shadow you see zombies and like spiders and whatnot in the shadow.
I guarantee that's worth a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah. I can't believe I still remember that. So I go to my neighbors, and they'd say, "Oh, this is a hard game. You really should play it." And when I was a kid, I used to play games, used to beat them, not a problem. And this was actually like my first puzzle game. Because it was survival horror, so you survive and you gotta do puzzles. So
well, mine was 2. I played them in like non-sequential order. I played 2, then 1, then 3, or no, 2, 1, 4, 3, 5. So
when I started Resident Evil, you know, seeing Capcom, and Capcom's huge now.
Oh,
Before,
yeah.
I'm like, what the heck is Capcom? You know, because I was a kid, but I didn't care. It was a video game. And then it was cool because it had that live action intro. It shows a guy walking down the hallway, it had that creepy, and then he gets bitten, and then all the blood, you know, splatters onto the TV, and it goes Resident Evil. And then, you know, you hit the start screen, and then you got to pick only from 2 characters. I'm like, well, that sucks.
You always pick the guy.
I picked the guy first, Chris. I'm like, he looks pretty badass, you know. Started it, and I found out there's 2 other people. The guy named Wesker, and of course the other character.
Barry.
Well, I didn't know about Barry until I played Jill, you know, because I beat the game first with Chris.
Oh, Chris doesn't see Barry, right?
Yeah, exactly. Which is weird. They never.
See, I always beat it as Jill. I never beat it as Chris. I always got like to a point. I was like, fuck this, and I switched to Jill.
Well, what was great about that game with the survival horror, they each had their perk. Chris had more health, but he could carry less items. Jill could carry more items, but she had less health.
Right.
So it was hard because you had to strategize on what to get first with Chris.
Yep.
And
then if you grabbed the wrong shit and put it in your lockbox, and it got all the way to a point and was like, fuck, I had to turn around, go back.
yeah, Jill had it easy because she had a
ship's
lockpick.
crawling with
Chris,
POWs.
you gotta get like small keys.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know what the small keys were for. It was to unlock drawers and like rooms and stuff.
Yeah.
So you always get ammo. You know,
It was always like that. Even in 2, like one had a lockpick, the other one had a lighter. You know, it's the same fucking thing.
It was a cool aspect of it. I enjoyed it. I started the game, you know, got to the first zombie with that cutscene. But actually, let me rewind that a little bit. I saw the opening, you know, for the cutscene, how they got to the mansion. I thought it was really cool. They did like a live action version of it to build up like how they got to the mansion and whatnot, and the gunfire. So it looked like oh man, I'm like watching a movie. This game's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And I was scared because of the dogs and stuff. I was a kid.
Did you ever open the door?
Yes, yes. I opened the door to like, you know, and I opened the door. The dogs pops right through. I'm like, oh shit. Well, apparently you're not going that way.
Yep.
And then, so as I said, as you play the game, I got to the first zombie with Chris. He only gets the knife. Jill gets a gun when you start with her. So I was using the knife on the zombie, and it wasn't really working that well.
Yeah.
And I got hit like maybe twice.
Yeah, 'cause you gotta like backtrack, don't you?
Yeah.
Get around them, pretty much.
Yeah, so you run back, and then you go to the hallway. It's like, okay, Jill left her gun, because Chris says this is Jill's gun. And then you're like, okay, I'm stuck in a mansion, nobody to help me.
Yep.
Where did they go? Begin game.
Yeah.
And then I died, like, probably about 30 minutes after, because I ran out of bullets after that, because I didn't know how to really shoot properly.
In those games, there was no, like, crosshairs. It was just
Nope.
fire in a direction.
The director cut had an auto aim function, which made the game easier. Also, too, the Beretta could shoot off the zombie's head.
Yeah.
So
It's probably like the shotgun. I mean, the
you
shotgun.
could just aim up and just shoot.
Yeah.
It was great.
You
for
can do that
that.
in all of them, pretty much. Like, at least
Yep.
1 through 3.
Yeah. But two, if you shot them with the shotgun, they would get cut in half and then crawl after you, which was pretty cool because I think people were saying the shotgun was broken in the first
What
one
I
or
never
something.
understood was, like, why'd they change the name from Japanese to English? Like, that was the thing I always wondered. Like, the name Biohazard just sounds cool. You
Right.
know? And they still call it Biohazard in Japan, but, like, Resident Evil still makes no fucking sense to me at all.
Well, yeah, you know what? I would prefer the Biohazard title myself because, I mean, it could be anything. You know, the storyline with Resident Evil, well, Biohazard, doesn't matter what you say, but Biohazard has a better ring to it because
Yeah, 'cause,
the
I mean,
whole
even look at,
vast
like,
story of Resident Evil.
Biohazard Nemesis, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that sounds fucking awesome.
Right. It's like, oh, shit, I'm going to get messed up.
Yeah,
you know?
Resident Evil, it's like the first time you see it on the shelf, like the second game, you see like the half face with the, you know, one side's all fucked up, and you're like, what the hell is it? You know, you have no idea, because it's not like Final Fantasy where you know what Final Fantasy is. It was a game that you picked up and were like, what the hell? Like Parasite Eve was a game where it's like, okay, you can put two fucking names together and figure out what the hell is with the game. But Resident Evil, I never understood.
Well, I might say after I died, after going over to my neighbor's house playing Resident Evil, I got pissed because I was a kid. You know, get pissed off, and
Yeah, 'cause you
I
always wanna
wanted to.
win.
Yeah, I wanted to beat the game, and you know, it was a hard game. I enjoyed it, and then eventually I can only beat the game with Jill for the longest time. And one time I was like, all right, I want to try to beat this with Chris.
Right.
This is with like we didn't have like internet. We had like web TV, and it took forever to like look up something. So I had to do
you had to, like, ask somebody in school if you heard it in passing, like, yo, how'd you beat that part? You know,
I had to, you know, figure out stuff for myself with Chris. I mean, usually the stuff was in the same spot when you play with Jill.
Yeah.
But with Chris, is sometimes you had to use the lighter a lot more. I think. No, you had to use the lighter both times.
Well, 2 had that. 2 had like the random thing, but it only did it once. So if you played through it once, you knew where everything was.
Right, but basically the same thing with the first Resident Evil. If you play with Jill, I mean, she had it a little bit easier because she could use her lockpick.
Yeah.
And Chris needed to get the
Those little
sword.
fucking keys, right?
Well, no, the sword key at first.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, which was a pain. And then he didn't know how to play the piano, so he needed to find Rebecca in the mansion so she could. And then you had to jerk around, circle jerk yourself for about a half hour, so you know she can learn.
Pages too, right?
No, the pages was in the room. Rebecca took like I think 10 to 15 minutes just to you know learn the Moonlight Sonata. Yeah, with that whole trap door, yeah. So, but anyway, I did play Parasite Eve though. I remember that
fucking game.
I remember picking that up because 2 things. One, I remember looking at the back, it looks cool.
The cover was
2,
awesome to me.
I was a teenager and I thought the chick on the cover was fucking hot. I wanted to put it to her.
I thought the cover was awesome for that game. Like, it was just so simple. Like, I picked it up on a whim too. Like, I just got a PlayStation. You know, I was picking up because pretty much my PlayStation consists of Legend of Dragoon, Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 at the time. I was trying to find other things. I picked up Resident Evil. I picked up Parasite Eve. You know, I never played 2, but Parasite Eve was such a hard fucking game. Like, to this day, I haven't beaten it yet.
You know what? Yeah, me either. I mean, I got always to the end, and I must have beat on her, the last boss for like 20 minutes.
Beat on her hard?
Like, beat on her hard. Just gave it right to her, you know? But what I like about Parasite Eve is when I first played it, I like how it was like almost like the Final Fantasy VII battle system.
Yeah.
It's not... Okay, let me put it. It's like it, but it's not like it. It's like it as in you take turns because you move yourself and then you shoot your gun and then the enemy would attack. So it was turn-based, which was pretty cool. So you had to strategize of what you're going to do because, you know, some enemies really fucked you up in that game, you know. And if you didn't have any health items, you know, you were fucked. I remember one part in the game, I had to go to the police station to advance the story. And for the longest time...
PlayStation was a bitch.
For the longest time, I was stuck in the police station, and enemies keep respawning.
Yeah.
And you run out of shit. So I was like, fuck, where do I go?
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes you can... I think you can run away from battles. I'm not too sure. I haven't played it in a while.
I have it. I just haven't cracked it open in, like, 15 years, 18 years.
But it was one of those type of games that I enjoyed. It was another like survival horror.
Yep.
You know, it did have a good story to it, and it was awesome. What kind of abilities you get with her? You know, when you find out the whole story about her and what she is and shit.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely cool. I mean, I don't think you really made it to the end. You only got to like the boss.
I got to the boss like when you're on the horse and carriage part there. That's where I got, and that dude beat my ass to the point I'm like, fuck it, put it away. Never opened it again.
It was a hard game because you gotta be smart about what you do. Like, do I use a potion here, or you gotta search everywhere in that game.
And that was like the time where like $20 was the price of a game, you know, where that was the expensive price. So when they were on sale, it was like $8. I mean, that shit was awesome back then. And then when like PlayStation got higher and it was like $30, they dropped the games to 20 greatest hits, you know.
Right.
Which was pretty cool. Like now you pay fucking $60.
Which is outrageous, because back in the day, I mean, it was cool to see the games like $20, whatever. You know, when I was a kid, you know, and whatnot, we would have to like earn the money just for like, you know, Mortal Kombat 3 or any game.
Yeah, there was no trade-in system.
There was no trade-in system back then. You know, I had to collect bottles.
Yep.
Back in the day.
I used to clean my grandmother's house for like $1. at a time.
But you know what was cool? Because parents were awesome back then. You know, I mean, they still are. Parents, you know, some parents can be. You know, depending on who they are. But my parents, unfortunately, I had good parents.
Unfortunately?
Unfortunately. But if I saved up like $10 in bottles, going out, you know, collecting bottles and shit, they would throw in half.
That's cool.
All the half of the game cost.
Yeah, I only got games for like my birthday and Christmas. If I wanted a game in between, I had to fucking somehow get money, like whore myself out.
But it made me appreciate the game more when I played it because I went out there and earned it. You know, I got Resident Evil for Christmas. So, you know, I was so pumped when I got that for Christmas. I mean, Parasite Eve, I just rented like for a week at like Blockbuster. But what's a Blockbuster nowadays, you know?
There isn't one.
Exactly.
And that's also, the thing, like, you can't even find places that'll even rent games like that anymore. I don't even think GameFly rents old games. I think it's all newer systems. And that's the problem. Like, you have to find, you know, like a classic game store. You know, like, we're lucky to have 2 around here. But, like, some people have to order the shit on Amazon and spend a ridiculous amount of money to play a game. I picked up Ghosts and Goblins for, what, $10 that one day?
Yep.
You go online, it's like $50, $60. You know, it's bullshit. Complete fucking criminal bullshit.
I agree. The price of games today, I mean, what happens is with better technology becomes more expense. You know,
But the thing is, like, I could see spending the $60, but give me everything. Give me all the fucking DLCs. I shouldn't have to spend $30 on a season pass, but the season pass doesn't include skins or fucking, you know, certain weapons, which is another $10, $15. You're spending over $100 by the time you finish a game. And that's just bullshit.
Oh, I agree, because you're paying good money for the game. It should, you know what it is? It's funny because actually Capcom got caught doing this. Is a lot of the DLCs are already on disc.
Yeah.
So when you pay for something,
Wasn't that like a big thing with like Marvel vs. Capcom 3?
No, it was Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Oh, that's right, because the character's already on there.
Yep,
yeah,
the character's already on. Yep, and all the colors were on the disc. And
it was like 160 points like per thing.
Yep.
For like just the colors.
And it happened for Resident Evil 6 as well. Everything was on the disc already.
There was other shit. I sold it before
Yeah.
everything came out.
Well, there was other shit for Resident Evil 6, but you know, again, we don't talk about 6 that much because we both hate it. We only enjoyed Leon campaign up to like what, the 3rd mission, and it just fell off.
The whole shark thing pissed me off.
Yeah,
I think that's where I lost it. Was the whole shark fucking cutscene. Oh, because especially the AI didn't help you, so you died like 20 fucking times.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that. I'm getting a headache.
But anyway, back to what we were saying in the DLCs and, you know, game expenses. But, you know, it's bullshit. It's like, it's on the disc. You're just pretty much paying money to, pretty much for the system to say, okay, you're unlocked.
You own the game, yeah.
Yeah, you own the game. Okay,
but like,
you get the skin, you get the guns, you get the weapons. It's like, I already paid $60. Everything is about money these days, and it sucks.
But it's like Borderlands. You buy the season pass, which I did, and I enjoyed 2 of the 4 DLCs. But then it's like they put out all these skins for the characters, and those were like, you know, they were only 80 points, but it's still 80 points, which is like $2. So you figure, like, let's say somebody bought every skin for every character. At one point, I think there was like 3 for each. You know, that adds up to like $20, $30 by that point. So you're still spending $100 on a game, and it's just for a game that patches constantly. And you know, that's why I like Defiance. You can choose to spend the money. You can buy the season pass, which I did, which was $40 for 5 DLCs, and a game like that is really good. And then if you want to buy outfits, it's just cash outright, you know? If you want to buy it, buy it. If you don't, you get the in-game ones. That's it.
What I like about Defiance, too, it's once you buy the game, you don't have to pay a stupid bullshit monthly fee with all like World of Warcraft, you know? I mean, they're big. I mean, people pay $15 whatever a month, but I like those free games. I like, you know, like League of Legends or download Smite.
Smite's awesome. Check out my reviews.
As a Defiance, which was great because it was free. Once you bought the game and played it and did the downloads and stuff, it was
Yeah,
free.
World of
And
Warcraft,
if,
you figure you spend all this money, like you spend, I think it's like 15, 20 bucks a month, I think, maybe, I don't know. But then you gotta go and buy like all these add-on shits, like the pandas and the werewolves and whatever the fuck else, and those are like probably like I don't know how much PC shit is, but that's still got to be a good chunk of money also coming out of your pocket. And you've been playing the game since day one. You're looking at how many years of like monthly subscriptions you're paying for, you know?
I hear you, man. You know, it's just ridiculous. You took the time, you paid your money.
I'm at the bridge.
You know what? Let's enjoy the game and give us the free will to choose to, decide if we want to spend more money on it. I think we're coming up near our end of our commentary here. I mean, this might be continue on the next video, so I guess we're going to wrap it up here.
Yep, so I hope you guys enjoyed our rant. Here comes the last cutscene, and we'll be back at the end of the video. Enjoy it. We won't.
Don't tell me that was the tugboat.
Shit, we'll be stuck here. Freeze! Drop the weapon! Drop yours, Parker. Who the hell are you?
Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed our gameplay of Resident Evil Revelations.
Part 3.
Part 3 / 4.96B.
This is going to be like so many parts.
It is.
But
it really is.
It's going to be fun, though. It's going to be a fun adventure. Can't wait. I'm actually kind of enjoying this game, the storyline so far. From what I've seen. So, I mean, I heard a lot of good reviews about it. I'm pretty pumped about it. And it's cool to do actually a blind playthrough. I mean, only time that I really am doing alright is because I played all Resident Evils.
Oh, yeah.
But it does help, but still, it's, I got a few surprises, in this game. So, doing the playthrough and whatnot.
Yep. So, yeah, I hope you guys liked the video. Rate, comment, subscribe. Keep an eye out for a teaser for our first co-op between me and Ghost full playthrough. So, you guys should enjoy that. And other than that, I'm Shadow.
And I'm Ghost.
From Scully Gaming. Hope you enjoyed this playthrough and keep an eye out. Peace!